Well, I wanted to kind of tell you what went on this week. As you see, there is no drip rug underneath the Land Rover this morning because I fixed the oil leak. I thought the oil leak came from a main engine bearing or seal, but it's been dripping constantly when the oil runs ever since I've owned it, and I finally decided to crawl under there and clean things up and see where the oils come from. And to my pleasant surprise, it was not an engine leak, but it was the oil line that went to the oil cooler. These military vehicles had an oil cooler in front of the radiator, and the line went from the oil pump up to the oil cooler, cooled the oil, and back into the sump. And where it went into the sump was kind of a strange fitting there that was leaking that I could not tighten. And so after finding out that civilian models really did not need the oil cooler, I decided to take those lines off and plug them up and remove the oil cooler, which is what I did, and the oil leak is resolved. No more oil leaks. Well, let me show you the truck now. As we go around to the front, you'll notice I have taken the grill off, and the oil cooler is not there, and also you'll notice the radiator is not there. As I was taking the oil cooler out, I gouged a hole in the radiator, and so I fixed the oil leak but caused a coolant leak. So I took the radiator out and I've sent it to the shop. I should get it back today, and then I'll be back running the Land Rover. The radiator was not difficult to take out, but just a little tedious. There was a lot of screws down each side here, and but it was a blessing to take this out, I think, because I found several loose things in here that I could tighten up and look over, and I'll replace some hoses, and so that's not a big deal. I'm kind of glad that happened in a way. So today I'll have the radiator back in and the front grille back on, and I'll crank it over and be good to go. Now another thing, when I got it, it had the original tires on it, military tires. The spare tire is still the original, pretty good tread on it, and I keep that as a spare, but I decided to change the 4 tires that are on the ground. So I looked around and called around, and I bought these tires over at Big O. They are 235/85 16s, 235/85 R16s, and I had them mounted on there. I only had one little problem. You see the valve stem there is the wheel has a little larger diameter for a valve stem than normal valve stems, so I had to leave the tubes in them. Then I got thinking that well, tubes are problematic to repair when you're out in the desert, so I found these larger valve stems. I think I found them at Pep Boy that are a larger diameter that fit these wheels, and I was curious whether these wheels would hold air for a tubeless tire, which they did. And so now I have 4 tires that work very well, that hold air good, and now I'm more confident I can fix a puncture when I'm out on the road. Another interesting thing is these lug nuts here are 1 1/16 inch socket. So I had to buy a socket and a long bar to use as a lug wrench if I need to take them off, which I've done several times. But so I keep that lug wrench in and a little compressor in my truck, and I'm ready to go with wheels. This is the original hitch that came on the truck. I think it's called a pintle hitch. The military uses that a lot, and I don't have any trailers with that type of hitch system on it, so I undid those 4 bolts and took off the pintle hitch. And in the place of those 4 bolts, This is a military trailer owned by a friend of mine. This is a pintle type hitch, and this is what the original Land Rover used to tow, is with a hitch like this. I installed a receiver hitch, so now I bolted that receiver hitch on. I have a hitch that slides into the receiver, and now I can tow my little trailer. This little trailer is something that my father purchased from Montgomery Ward's in the 1960s. It came disassembled without any plywood, and so he assembled it, bought the plywood, put it together, and used it for years, and now I use it for chores, hauling stuff from the hardware store and taking a little four-wheeler out in the desert. So I painted it to match the four-wheeler. So now I have a little light-duty trailer that I can pull behind if I want to tow stuff out into the desert. I want to take just a moment to explain these vinyl stickers I got on the side of the truck. Now this is vinyl sticker is an angel, a representation of an angel. Now I consider myself a man of faith, and so I appreciate the role of angels in the plan and this angel is mentioned in Revelations chapter 14, and so if you're interested you could look that up and learn more about this particular angel that I appreciate so much. Now on the back of the truck I put this vinyl sticker in. It says USS Parche, SS 384. That means submarine service 384. This is my father's World War II submarine, the USS Parche. My father joined the Navy when he was 17 in 1943 and was assigned to submarine service because it paid more and he heard the food was better, and he was a torpedoman first class. And so I put this on here to kind of give a shout out to my father and honor him a bit, and also to honor all who have served in the military. I thank you for your service. This is a photo of my dad when he joined the Navy, and when he was 17 years old. He was just a Utah farm boy, so the Navy was quite a life-changing experience. And this is the USS Parche, a decorated submarine where he served in World War II.